And goodbye, Lana.
Bye.
90.3
90.3 WMSC.
WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
Good morning, everybody. It is July 26, 2022. Let's get some noise. Yes, sir. It is the morning buzz here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Ladies and gentlemen, it's exciting time to be alive as the world is seemingly not on fire today, but we'll give it some time. Actually, it probably is on fire still in Europe, but let's not talk about that because that's sad. Well, we probably should at some point. Anyways, guys, it's the morning buzz. As I mentioned, it's me, Isaiah, joined by the one and only Lana is here. Cam, you're probably wondering, where is this hooligan? You're probably thinking to yourself, where is the man with 3 letters in his name? He's in his car yet again. Our friend Cam is booking it on his way to studio because he is a heavy sleeper, because he does not know how to set an alarm, because he is wearing sunglasses while driving here as the sun is out today. The weather is fine, and I'm sure Lana will go into more detail about that. So Lana, please take it away. Give us the news around the world and close to home.
Of course. Well, Isaiah, we talked about fire a little bit before, and yes, the world is still on fire. Also, California firefighters are fighting a huge fire near Yosemite National Park. A fire which has reached over 16,700 acres since Monday is, quote, moving extremely fast, and the reaction time to get people out is limited because the fire is moving so fast, said the Cal Fire Battalion chief. 3,000 people have been forced to evacuate since the fire began, and over 2,500 personnel are fighting the fire, which, as of Monday, has been contained by 10%. And in state news, a hospital in Cape May County is stopping all obstetrical services on September 15th. Cape May Regional Medical Center, which is the only hospital in the county, is stopping services due to having only 2 OBGYNs, and one of them is leaving. According to a spokesperson for Cape Regional, the hospital is working with Shore Medical Center to, quote, develop transfer agreements to quickly transition obstetrical patients who present in Cape Regional Medical Center's emergency department. This continues a shortage of all obstetricians all over the country. And in local news, Mayor Andre Say of Patterson released a $7.9 million plan to expand the Patterson Great Falls National Park. The plan consists of adding a walkway along the banks of the falls to allow guests to view the, quote, relics of America's first planned industrial center. I want visitors to say that Patterson is the birthplace of the American dream, said the mayor. Immigration, innovation, industrialization. That's the American dream. The renovation is scheduled to break ground next month and will be completed by 2024. As for the weather today, it is currently 69 degrees and partly cloudy with a high of 83 and a low of 68, with a humidity level at 65% and good air quality at 28.
Thank you very much, Lana, for delivering us the news. It seems like the weather is certainly cooling down as we enter, the latter parts of July, and I'm sure August will start to get hot again as it normally does. And now we're going to take it to sports, everyone's favorite topic, including Lana, big sports person. And we'll start off in the association as the Athletic reported that the Celtics are another team entering themselves in the KD sweepstakes. The Celtics offered star player Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a draft pick to the Nets in exchange for Kevin Durant, in which the Nets declined, as apparently they want more. And according to the NFL Network, Kyler Murray's new contract with the Arizona Cardinals includes an eye-catching detail. Mighty Mouse himself will be required to complete at least 4 hours of, quote, independent study per game week during the season. Keeping things in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs rookie wide receiver Justin Ross will miss the 2022 season after the team placed him on the injured reserve yesterday. The former Clemson receiver was signed as an undrafted free agent and recently underwent another foot surgery, which is what ended his last season with the Tigers in November of last year. Injuries continued to plague Ross's young yet promising career, which at one point had him as a projected first-round pick. Lastly, in the NFL, the Bears are bound to leave Chicago for the suburbs of Arlington. Recently, the club purchased an agreement for the Arlington International Racecourse. Yet, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has thrown her last Hail Mary to keep the team in Chicago by offering a dome and major upgrades to the legendary Soldier Field. The upgrades and dome is expected to cost $2.2 billion, but naming rights deal would pay part of the cost. And now we're going to a startup league. The XFL has released the cities for their third relaunch of the league: Dallas, Houston, Las Vegas, Orlando, San Antonio, Seattle, St. Louis, and finally, Washington, D.C. Lastly, we head to some international soccer as the Women's Copa America continued last night as Colombia took on Argentina in the semifinals. The game was tied 0-0 until the 63rd minute, where Colombia scored the only goal of the game and secured their ticket to the final. Colombia will take on the winner of tonight's game between Brazil and Paraguay. The losers will play Argentina for a third on Friday, and the final will be played on Saturday. Good luck to all the ladies involved in part of that tournament, and I'm glad to see that they're actually on TV as well. I caught part of the game last night, and it was a pretty exciting game. We love some international tournaments. So now that was sports, everyone. Thank you for listening to that. Lana, your thoughts on the Copa? No, I'm kidding. Guys, we're gonna hop into our next story of the day very quickly. Cam, how's traffic?
Traffic's very rough right now. They're almost going to get allowed on to hop on 46. But traffic is it's manageable. I'm about to try to close to. Let me get on my brother.
Well, we thank you, Cam, for the live traffic report. I'm sure we'll catch up with you in a solid 20 more minutes to see how traffic's going. Until then, we got some interesting things to talk about from our friends up north as they're getting a visitor from none only Pope Francis. Pope Francis issued an apology yesterday in Canada for the Catholic Church's cooperation with Canada's, quote, catastrophic policy of Indigenous residential schools. The schools that forced assimilation of Native people into Christian society, destroyed their cultures, and severed families and marginalized generations. He issued the apology at a former residential school south of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where school survivors and Indigenous community members were present. Quote, I humbly beg for forgiveness for the evil committed by so many Christians against the Indigenous peoples. He called the school's policy a disastrous error that was incompatible with the gospel and said further investigation and healing is needed. Francis traveled to the lands of the four Cree nations to pray at the cemetery and delivered the long-sought apology at a nearby Pow's ceremonial grounds. After being escorted by four chiefs, the Pope was presented with a feathered headdress after he spoke, making him an honorary leader of the community. His words went beyond his earlier apology for the, quote, deplorable abuse of missionaries, and instead took institutional responsibility for the church's cooperation with Canada's assimilation policy, which the county, I was going to say county, like this is Sussex County, this country's Truth and Reconciliation Commission said amounted to a, quote, cultural genocide. More than 150,000 Native children in Canada were forced to attend government-funded Christian schools from the 19th century until the 1970s in an effort to isolate them from the influence of their homes and culture. The aim was a way to Christianize and assimilate them into mainstream society, which previous Canadian governments considered superior. Now, I think something like this is very interesting. And one more detail, Ottawa has admitted that the physical and sexual abuse was rampant in these schools, with students beaten for speaking their native languages. And I think a lot of time when we think of like terrible events going on, I can't speak today, towards native groups, we think of it as something that happened as we began colonizing the Americas. That is not true, as this is a very recent stuff going on that was all the way until the 70s, which is brutal. It's disgusting, and I wish I knew more about this story before having to discover it yesterday, because I didn't know this was going on. Like, I knew they found the bodies at a school ground in Canada a couple months ago, but I didn't know what was the deeper details of what was going on in these schools. And this is horrible to really listen to. Lana, did you know much about this going on?
No, not at all. And at first, like, I was really shocked that like this was like happening in Canada, because usually you would hear it happening here in the United States. Canada's usually considered the nicer ones.
Yeah.
But I just feel so bad for all these people that were forced into a religion that they did not believe in, and were beaten just for speaking their native language. That is unacceptable, and I think this apology from the Pope is long overdue.
Very much long overdue. And it seems like for the most part, everyone kind of knew what was going on. So I'm surprised it would even take this long to really issue an apology like this. And it goes to show probably why there's so much generational trauma within this communities, like Native communities, because of what they went through. And something like this is just so disgusting, where they're being forcefully assimilated into things that they didn't want to be a part of, yet they had to take part of these things, because it's either that or you get beaten down, you get abused. And even if you were cooperative, you were likely being abused or assaulted in some way or form. And once again, I think you touched upon it very nicely, Lana, is that a lot of times we look to other countries like nearby, like Canada, or even places like Europe, and we think that they don't have problems and that everything is so peaceful and so amazing, but everywhere has their issues. And this is clearly something that needs to be talked about. And I hope it's being a, top of the page kind of story for Canada right now, because this is huge stuff. And if this was going on here, I would like to believe that this would be something that everyone would be talking about. But yeah, I don't really know how you solve their generational traumas, but I think this is a good beginning to kind of own up to what your people's mistakes were in the past. And I think that goes a long way, is openly accepting accountability and saying, you know what, our people were wrong. We accept responsibility for it. And now let's try to create a partnership where we can help you guys and we can help support you guys and hopefully better your guys' communities in the near future. Cam, did you have something to add on?
Yeah, so what I see it is, you're first off, you're taking away the rights of your fellow citizens, and at that point, it's not only do you lose trust in the whole idea of, okay, well, the government doesn't like anything that I do. Overall, I think the Canadians are looking at the Catholic religion as such, like, this is a big red flag. If they're trying to force this upon me, what's the real message that they're trying to really send here? And like you two said about having trauma, I think that it kind of turned a lot of people away from Catholicism in Canada, to the point where it's like, okay, well, you don't really want to involve yourself in that.
Yeah, I think that has kind of been a common theme, at least for the Catholic Church, for quite some time recently, whether it's sexual abuse scandals within leadership roles across the entire globe. Really, it's not just exclusive to the United States. I mean, how often did you hear a Catholic Church priest assaulted a 13-year-old boy or something like that? Like, that was kind of a very popular thing that we were seeing going on, and it was disturbing, concerning, and hopefully that they're solving their own internal leadership problems within that religion. But it's definitely I think this is a step in the right direction for the Catholic Church, and I'm glad the Pope is actually in person there apologizing, and not just like, here's a statement on a piece of paper kind of deal. Regardless,
it's the West. It's a being in person. It's powerful. I remember a few years back, when then President Obama he stepped into Japan. First time a U.S. president stepped on the soil of Japan since World War II. Just him being there in person kind of changed a lot of relations between us and Japan as we speak today. it's just something powerful about being there in person than being virtual. It's being there versus being there.
100%, Cam. Now we're gonna move on to our next story, which is
Speaking of
concerning. Cam, you cannot be interrupting when you are having terrible connection right now. All right, let a guy transition. We got Zoom delays. Cam's wearing glasses. Lana's in the middle of a move, and we got to get to our next story. Cam, all right. Police were investigating a woman's motive for firing a handgun in the air at Dallas Love Field Airport early Monday morning. Following the seemingly unprovoked gunshots, people were running towards safety and flights were delayed until the airport was deemed safe. The 37-year-old woman entered the airport's ticket counter area around 11 a.m. Central Time. Upon entering, she walked into the bathroom and came out wearing different clothing and then began firing at the ceiling. An officer then responded to the shots and shot the woman in her lower extremities to stop her. Nobody else was injured, luckily, other than the shooter. Dallas Police Chief Edgardo Garcia said the woman was arrested and taken to a hospital. Her name has not been released, and it is not clear why she was firing shots at the ceiling. After the shooting, the airport was evacuated, and some people were told to shelter in place while Dallas police investigated. Now, the TSA has tweeted that the normal airport security checkpoint operations resumed shortly before 2 p.m. Central Time. So it's a relatively quick kind of solution to the problem. This could have been very bad. I don't know how. I'm not sure about Dallas's gun laws, so I guess that they are allowed to carry, but I can't imagine that you can carry into
an airport. This is another example of people not doing their jobs. Fortunately,
exactly.
It's not as severe, but I know what you mean. The potential could have been much, much worse, especially knowing that the woman had no even check. Where's TSA? Were they on break? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know. This is this whole thing is very kind of bizarre because thankfully she didn't shoot at any human being, but to just shoot at a ceiling, and I'm confused at what her plan was. I don't know if this was like a cry for help kind of deal for her, like to get arrested and maybe kind of help figure out whatever mental problems is going on in her head. But this whole thing is very just bizarre. None of these details really make any sense to me. How she got in with a gun, being able to change clothes for some reason, and then shoot at the ceiling. Like this seems just very. It seems like a lie to me, but clearly it's not. But
it's just one of those things. It just baffles me that you're able to not have any prior issue trying to do these actions yet.
Well, we don't know because we don't know what her name was. She could have a history of doing kind of weird things this.
What I'm saying is, it could have been in a situation where you see that you ever just walk in, no issue, and like just having the idea, the potential to really erupt and not really being challenged prior to you erupting, it just baffles me.
I looked it up. Apparently, because like Texas is open carry, you can.
Really? You can enter an airport with a gun?
In Texas, at least.
That's interesting. I wonder if you can then fly with the gun, or can you just enter?
You may transport unloaded firearms in a locked, hard-sided container as checked baggage only. Declare the ammunition to the airline when checking your bag at the ticket counter.
So I'll be sure to avoid Dallas Love Field Airport and anything in Texas regarding airports. That is bizarre that that's even allowed. That should just be a government thing in which we don't allow people to transport guns into an airport. Like, there's so many possibilities of what could go wrong within that scenario.
There's so many.
Wow, thank you, Lana, for catching up on that detail right there.
Oh no, also here's something like this. I'm gonna be flying to Texas literally in a few months.
Really?
Yep.
Where are you off to, Cam?
I'm going to Houston for my cousin's wedding.
Oh, nice. Congratulations to them.
Of course.
Yeah.
But hearing how Texas doesn't have these rules kind of like that.
You better off driving, Cam.
I might have to drive.
I don't even know if that's safer either, man. Texas might be a
Texas is crazy.
war zone or something going on. Regardless, thankfully, I don't think anything like this has happened at Newark Airport. I've been there quite often. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
I'm good without that.
Can we listen? The one time I want to say this. Shout out Newark.
Shout out Newark. Hey, round of applause for Newark. Good job, guys.
Newark is the W so big they ride on the W wheel.
W wheel.
The W wheel.
You know what else rides on a W wheel?
What else rides on the W wheel?
A nice break. We're going to be listening to Jordan Sparks and Chris Brown, Nowhere, our classic elementary middle school me song, everybody. We'll be right back here on The Morning Buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. All right. I wonder what Jordan Sparks is up to these days. regardless, we got some more things to talk about here on the Morning Buzz. Some more impactful things other than Jordan Sparks' career status. Cam is in studio, everyone. He has made it. We're glad to have him in studio. But now we're going to talk about
Bruno?
Governor Murphy.
Not Bruno.
Not Bruno. Cam, I'm gonna read it because you're on your phone. You could just be co-host today, my guy. So Governor Phil Murphy announced Monday that New Jersey will spend millions of dollars to get people to purchase all electric vehicles in a way to combat climate change. The plan includes a payment of up to $4,000 to reduce the price of an electric vehicle and $250 to help pay for a charging station at their home. Another $4 million will go towards giving incentives for apartment buildings and condominiums to install charging stations for the residents to use. According to Murphy, roughly $60 million will be used to fund the incentives programs will come from this year's Clean Energy Fund. Murphy explained the landscape of electric vehicles. Quote, "There's no doubt that the tide has turned and electric vehicles are now legitimate alternatives equal to their internal combustion competitors in price, if not superior in performance." End quote. The incentives begin July 25th, which was yesterday, and is applied at the time of the sale. It is limited to New Jersey residents. It is the third year of his administration's Charge Up New Jersey program. The governor said more than 1,300 electric vehicles were purchased in the first 2 years that the states offered incentives for electric vehicles. The state will also spend $4 million to give incentives for local governments to buy electric vehicles. His administration is also setting aside $30 million to buy electric vehicles as well. There are about 65,000 electric vehicles registered in the state at this time. This is good news, guys, as we try to combat climate change at some point. I think this is definitely a good starting point, is hopefully being able to transition from gas cars into electric cars. At least that's what I've been told by the big science guys, because I couldn't explain if this is actually helpful or not, because imagine making electricity is still pretty not good for the environment, but I guess it's less dirty for the world, for the environment, if we're using that instead of gas.
So here's the thing. You said this is the third year, correct?
This is the third year of the Clean Energy program.
Okay, so it's the first.
Charge Up
So this is the first time it's actually even able to be possible for the great state of New Jersey, because year number one, 2020, what happened in 2020? Oh, we were locked up. Year number two, we're still battling. So this is the first time Murphy can really spread his wings and see how far he really can take it.
Yeah, and also I think just in general, I think the fact that the selling price for both cars and electric vehicles are relatively the same now. I think that definitely helps, especially when you add on incentives of up to $4,000 for an electric vehicle. I think that's definitely a way to turn the tide, is by offering that kind of money for somebody.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I don't know if I'm gonna ever be in the electric vehicle market, but should I be? Hopefully, I'm still in New Jersey to capitalize on these kind of things. I will say you briefly mentioned it, that this program was kind of started during the pandemic. But it goes to show the effects of what people not driving gas cars can do. Because I believe, like in Los Angeles, there's like a huge smog issue because so many people are driving on the highways and all that.
Yep.
And during the pandemic, obviously everyone was inside. But when you looked at it, there was no more smog in Los Angeles. So I think transitioning from gas into electric, you could probably see more breathable air in bigger cities like LA or like in New York. And it could be, I think, the turn in a direction when it comes to climate change. I don't know if it solves it, but it definitely helps it.
It's a beginning. It's just,
yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be impossible. It's gonna be very, very difficult to try to not only convince plenty of Americans, but hey, switch over your gasoline powered cars to this electric. Trying to have millions of Americans trying to first of all change their minds on their thoughts of everything. That's going to be tougher. Please see our issues in the United States currently to understand how tough that's going to be. Then on top of that, it's just a matter of, okay, if they are cool with trading in the cars, it's not like that their car that they have now is equal or greater value of the cars, of the electric cars anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty pricey, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the good thing is that I think there's some things that manufacturing cars have to be doing by a certain amount of what year, 2027 or something like that. I forget which company it was, or maybe all of them, but 60% of like your newer fleets of car models have to be at least hybrid or electric. So I think either way, this is going to be a forced thing, where people are going to have to buy electric cars at some point, which is good, you know.
It's good for the environment.
Gas money, you feel me? That's
I
a
feel you.
pretty expensive thing these days. Now, you know, it's still kind of expensive, but you know, you still like to go to, Cam,
What?
the movie theaters. And
Yeah.
only one person can tell us what's going on in movie theaters, streaming services, and maybe even the joysticks. Lana, take it away.
I was gonna say Thor.
Thor?
Thor was gonna take it away, but Lana's better. Lana's
Not
better anyway.
Thor. Boo.
Lana's better
Wait,
for-
we're gonna talk about some Marvel stuff a little later on the show, Cam. Just for you, pal. Lana, the show is yours.
Our first film is DC.
Oh, wait, Lana, I'm sorry. Let me turn Zoom on. Whoops.
Wow.
Sorry, Lana. My bad. You were probably spitting the gospel for us.
Are we good now?
We're good, Lana.
Our first film is DC League of Super Pets, which comes out Friday in theaters and is rated PG. In DC League of Super Pets, Crypto, the Super Dog, and Superman are inseparable best friends sharing the same superpowers and fighting crime in Metropolis side by side. When Superman and the rest of the Justice League are kidnapped, Crypto must convince a ragtag shelter pack, Ace the Hound, PB the pot-bellied pig, Merton the turtle, and Chip the squirrel to master their own newfound powers and help him rescue the superheroes.
Lana, what are we doing, man?
Look,
Lana. Why is
Let
DC
her see.
League of Super Pets even on this? No, I'm kidding. Lana, explain to me why we should be excited for DC's biggest movie of the year.
No Batman.
That would be, they probably would enjoy this. Also, the cast list is pretty big.
Yeah,
name people.
that cast is kind of juicy.
Yeah, I kind of
That
heard.
cast is really
Lana,
juicy.
you want to read
Yeah.
some of the castmates
Really
on
say
that?
the names.
So Crypto is played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Ace is played by Kevin Hart. John Krasinski plays Superman. Keanu Reeves plays Batman.
What in the world?
Exactly.
How did they assemble this cast here for this random cartoon, but can't?
But about dogs.
But it's a dog.
Well,
movie.
it's a Wonder Pet.
Yeah.
It's the grown up Wonder Pets.
Wow.
Yet
Wow.
they have all this potential to
Huh.
have greatness, and they make movies like
This is crazy.
See the Justice League.
Lana, you watching this one?
Not in theaters.
Wow, big fan.
Fake DC fan.
Big fan.
Wow.
You know why I can't? It comes out on Friday. I'm supposed to be out of my house on Friday.
Moving schmoving, all right. If a real DC fan was moving, they would have bought in 6 tickets already. No, I'm kidding, Lana.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We've got Honor Society, which comes out also on Friday for Paramount Plus and is not currently rated. Honor is an ambitious high school senior whose sole focus is getting into an Ivy League college.
What's the name?
Hmm.
Oh, that's fire! Actually, hold up.
Cam was shook by that detail right
Oh.
there.
Assuming she can first score the coveted recommendation from her guidance counselor, Mr. Calvin. Willing to do whatever it takes, Honor concocts a Machiavellian plan to take
Lana.
competitors until
That's
they
a T word right there.
when she unexpectedly falls for her biggest competition, Michael.
Michael.
Lana.
That's a big word.
Can you give me the definition of Machiavellian?
I can look it up.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you said it right.
What in the world is that, man?
What word is what?
Lana, what are we doing right now? What is this?
Wait a second. Machiavellianism. It's a personality trait that denotes cunningness, the ability to be manipulative, and a drive to use whatever means necessary.
Now, Lana, I'm gonna ask you one more follow-up question. How often in your life have you said Machiavellian?
Maybe like once or twice.
I'm about this one. New favorite word now. because that described me kind of well if you think about
Good
it.
lord. He's gonna try to fit in as many times as
Hello,
possible.
I'm
to fit
feeling
Machiavellian.
I'm feeling Machiavellian.
You're on your interview today. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce our Machiavellian guest. It's like, that's not even how you use it, man. Just use it to use it kind of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, this movie seems like certainly like a movie.
Yeah. First off, the name Honor, that's kind of that kind of took me so surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
I mean, it has the kid from Stranger Things.
Which one? There's like 7,000.
Yeah, it's the one kid.
Yeah, word. Thanks. Yeah, a lot
the
of
curly haired guy. Yeah, yeah.
who's the cat? Yeah, say the cast list.
That's pretty much it. Like, there's
Okay,
it's
okay.
not a huge budget movie.
It's on Paramount Plus for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, who has Paramount Plus other than my sister?
Nickelodeon fans
You're right. You're right. Or people with the
have money.
reality show fans,
Reality show fans.
the
People,
challenge, and all those
people
things.
who
are
have
on
money
there. That's true.
that just want to be like, hey, you know, I'm just gonna have to have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people are, getting rid of Netflix. Now they got a little more money for things like a Paramount Plus. So, anyways, Lana, you got one more movie for us?
do. Paradise Highway also comes out on Friday in theaters and
They
is
call me in high school.
what?
That's what they call me in high school.
Paradise Highway. A lot of things have been revealed about Cam very early today. Lana, continue on.
It is not currently rated. Academy Award, apparently that's trademarked for some reason. Winners Juliette Binoche and Morgan Freeman lead this riveting thriller set in the trucking industry as a seamy underbelly of human trafficking. To save the life of her brother, Frank Grillo, Sally, played by Binoche, a truck driver, reluctantly agrees to smuggle illicit cargo. A girl named Leia, played by Hala Finley, as Sally and Leia begin a danger-fraught journey across the state lines, a dogged FBI operative, played by Freeman, sets out on their trail, determined to do whatever it takes to terminate a human trafficking operation and bring Sally and Leia to safety.
Oh, so Freeman's a Fed. Got it. Word.
Listen, I love me some Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
But I think at this point, being that you're 85 years old.
He's 85?
He's 85 years old.
Yeah, bro.
Born June 1st, 1937. I think it's okay for you to go into retirement at this point.
Morgan Freeman.
Like, listen. Like, just can we let him relax for a little? Unless he loves to do it. I feel
he has to love doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves it.
He's in everyone's seen at least 14 Morgan Freeman movies.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a plethora of lists of movies, man. What hasn't he been in at this point?
Not even just movies, but also like TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you look out for Morgan Freeman the next few Marvel movies.
You know what's interesting though? Is like my entire lifetime, I've seen Morgan Freeman with gray hair.
Yeah.
The guy
there's a picture of him without gray hair.
Yeah,
like, I don't believe it.
I don't buy it at all.
I don't believe it.
I assume he started acting when he was 65.
Yeah. I agree with that. No,
is there a young Morgan Freeman movie that I haven't seen yet?
What's his filmography looking like?
No, that's what I mean. Like, even when you think about like Shawshank Redemption,
yeah,
like that's one of the older movies I remember seeing. Even that, he looked like an older guy, like in his 50s or something. You got to think about it. I don't know when it was released, but
did Morgan Freeman just wake up one day and just look, older and said, "All right, well, let's go make some movies. Let's go make some movies."
Just imagine, man.
That he was in that came out in 1989 where he actually looks young.
19. Okay,
that's the first movie.
No, because 84 is when Shawshank was released.
Oh,
but even in that movie, like,
well, you gotta think
he looks young, but he's still looking pretty old.
You gotta think that Shawshank, he had to look little rougher because the whole idea of
not being in jail. But also, like, when you think about it, he's late 40s.
That's true.
Yeah, late 40s.
Yeah.
So even then, it's like he's not like a young guy, not old either. But man, he's just always looked like a grandfather to me.
I guess so.
Yeah, good for Morgan Freeman. All right, what we got for gaming?
All right, we got a couple games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out Friday for Switch. Join Noah and Mio, members of two opposing nations of Kiev and Angus, on a heartfelt journey through a warring world with a dark secret. Traverse massive fantastical landscapes and master seamless real-time RPG combat as you expose the true enemy pulling the strings.
Wow. I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles is definitely a game that the Joes would like.
Yeah.
That seems like up their alley. I
Uh,
assume that and like Final Fantasy are like the same thing.
I have no idea what Xenoblade Chronicles. That just sounds.
It
smart.
sounds like a
It sounds smart.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, like a real gamer would play,
Yeah.
you know?
it's like one of those things. Like, oh yeah, Xenoblade.
Mhm.
Much about it, but like I know that like when I remember when Xenoblade 2 came out because my choir teacher was a big fan of it.
There are
Wow.
sequels.
I mean, if it's 3, I imagine there's 1 and 2. Who starts with 3, Cam?
Hey, I started games at 3. That's all I want.
Got it. Yes.
I'm Cameron. Approve this message.
All right, well we got one more. Lost Epic comes out Thursday for PS4, PS5, and PC.
Oh, come on, man. What is this?
PlayStation.
What is this always PlayStation exclusive stuff, Lana? Come on.
Because we talk like that.
For Xbox stuff.
Whatever, Lana. Carry on with your 2D side scrolling.
Is a 2C side scroll action RPG about a war between gods and humanity. The player becomes the deity defying knight, Godslayer, and explores the world known as Sanctum to bring the pantheon of 6 to their knees.
Interesting.
That's why it's basically God of War Junior.
Yeah, sounds like it. Listen, we need an update though from last week's Kicking It Back with Lana. Have you played the cat game?
I have actually not. It's
Ah,
only
come
because
on.
it's only because I was,
Ooh.
all right. Someone right.
Ooh, this man.
Someone right. I was gonna play it right. Then I
Mhm.
said, "Nah, this is a good game to stream." Actually, I'm going to be streaming it tonight.
Where could they find you?
Oh, on Twitch, coach underscore streams.
Okay, cool.
They finished it, of course.
Well, I mean, you were just saying where they can find you.
Oh, that's true.
Exactly. That's cool, man. You guys stream tonight for sure, or
Yeah.
in the works?
Oh, tonight for sure.
And it's gonna be Stray. Or are you playing something else?
It's gonna be Stray
All right.
because I
Coach streams tonight. Stray. It's gonna be a fun one.
What
I'm-
time tonight?
9 p.m. aka 21 p.m. on the military times.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Should we do Western Standard? No, okay. That's exciting.
9/8 Central. 9/6
Cool.
Pacific.
Wow, we're getting into real close details here.
9/3 Hawaii.
Shout out to Hawaii time, everyone. We appreciate everyone in Hawaii.
It's currently 2:42 a.m. in Hawaii.
Woo-wee. I
Sun-
mean,
Sunny skies have not existed yet.
honestly, if I was in Hawaii, I would wake myself at 2 every now and then just to really be one with nature, you know?
Sunrise.
I would love waking up in Hawaii, man.
I would too.
Instead of here, just waking up palm trees.
I love waking up in Hawaii knowing that I got to Hawaii
Mm-hmm.
and not just waking up on a plane in Hawaii.
That's fair. That's
Because
fair.
that would be
That'd be confusing.
that would be a great story to find out.
Sounds like an Amazon Prime exclusive.
This
Lana,
summer.
we appreciate all these good things coming out. And as always, kicking it back with Lana was always so much fun. I mean, you got your obligatory DC talking, but here on the Morning Buzz, we got to take a break. And when we come back, we got some more things to talk about, including one of the saddest stories. An icon is no longer with us. All that more here on the Morning Buzz.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised
Take it back on.
Listen, look at that. That was the voice of our very own Morning Buzz icon, Cam. You are here with us in studio, and also your show is up next. All right, so boom, followed by Coach's Playbook later on today as well. Cam, you're a busy man on Tuesdays here at WMSC, and your work is appreciated here by us here at the Morning Buzz, but also I'm sure within your sports crew and all around the WMSC family. Now we got some interesting things to talk about. And I'm going to briefly get through this entertainment rundown. I can't think of a name for this segment. My name doesn't really rhyme with anything. So, yeah. Keke Palmer is finally getting the recognition she deserves, as she was trending pretty much nonstop over the weekend and even some parts of Monday. A thread on Twitter sparked a conversation by comparing and contrasting the careers of Zendaya and Keke herself. The thread explained that the actor's range in popularity may be one of the clearest examples of how colorism plays out in Hollywood. In the thread, the account continued by pointing out how Palmer's role in Jordan Peele's Nope has been looked at as her breakout role, yet she's done so much throughout her career. And not taking kindly to discussion, Palmer then responded to the online news and shared her thoughts through the Bird app. Quotes, "A great example of colorism is to believe that I can be compared to anyone. I'm the youngest talk show host ever, the first Black woman to star in her own show on Nickelodeon, and the youngest and first Black Cinderella on Broadway. I'm incomparable talent. Baby, this is Keke Palmer." The spelling bee icon then continued saying, quotes, "I've been a leading lady since I was 11 years old. I have over 100 plus credits and currently starring in an original screenplay that is the #1 film at the box office. #Nope. I have been blessed. I've had a blessed career thus far. I couldn't ask for more, but God continues to surprise me." Listen, I'm glad that Keke Palmer's really getting the recognition she deserves. I don't know if you guys have seen Nope. I thought, oh man, I don't want to give any spoilers, obviously, but you can listen to a review of that this Sunday on All the Feels, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because this is it. We get into all the
We on the
details here.
east side.
Yes, sir. East Coast is, it's
East Coast, not the least
Yeah,
coast. respectfully.
exactly. But yeah, I'll talk about that another day. But this is cool. I'm glad Keke Palmer is really getting that, because I mean, she has been around pretty much since like my childhood. Like, she was always
True
popular.
Jackson VP.
That was a great show.
That was a legendary show.
She had her own show, Aquila and the Bee.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, spelling bee icon, man. I mean, Keke Palmer's been doing it for a long time, and even
since the 2000s.
hosting red carpet events. I mean,
She hosted KCAs.
Yeah.
She hosted Kids' Choice Awards, crying out loud.
Not even that. What is the fashion thing in New York? The Met.
The Met Gala.
The Met Gala. She
it was
hosted
past year,
that
wasn't it? It was
too.
past year?
Yeah, it's every year. Yeah, I think
so-
the most recent one. Yeah. Mhm. But even like, she's been about that action pretty much since she's been born.
She's all she wants, all the smoke.
Mhm.
All the smoke.
Talented, and I think that was a real good example of that. She is a darker skinned woman, and that's just sadly how Hollywood seems to work. The lighter your skin, the
and
more opportunities and credit you'll get.
also with that, they compared Keke Palmer, darker skinned woman, with another woman of African American descent, Zendaya, because that's just how people want. It's just that's a sad thing to realize, that these ladies, they're more than their skin color. They're both phenomenal actresses, and they're both phenomenal entertainers. Just a matter of, okay, we got to give more recognition to more communities of color, because that's really what it's really just a lack of them being aware of what happened anyway.
I will say, I feel like I'm glad she's getting her flowers now, but y'all should have been giving Keke her flowers a long time ago.
At least a decade ago. Yeah. At least 10 years
I'm
ago.
telling you, she's been around since I was a child, and that's 300 years ago.
I had a dinosaur back then.
Yes, sir. Lana, you wouldn't know any of this, as you were born 2 years ago.
Lana became a teenager the other day, guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, Lana, congrats! Woo!
Thanks.
Oh man. Now we're gonna talk some MCU stuff, as Phase 4 is coming to an end, everyone. As Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is giving Phase 4 their swan song, and hopefully ending on a high note, as many fans have expressed their lack of interest in the most recent movie's part of the MCU. But Phase 5 of the MCU is incoming and will begin with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania the next February 2023, February 17th. Now some other movies scheduled for the 2023 lineup. Part of Phase 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will be the last one of the series. A movie called Echo, Loki Season 2, The Marvels, Blade, Ironhearts, and even Agatha, Coven of Chaos. A lot of things I don't know of. Then you get into 2024 with Daredevil, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and then Phase 6 will also feature 2 Avengers movies, one called The Avengers Kang Dynasty and The Avengers Secret Wars. And those are obviously not part of Phase 5 and will begin your Phase 6 stuff going on.
That's 2025.
Are you excited for this, Cam? You're our
Yes.
resident
Yes.
MCU guy.
Now, here's the thing. People have Phase 4. I enjoy Phase 4.
Mhm.
I'm enjoying it because it's a whole different look. The characters that we grew up with, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Like, I know Thor just had a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's expected. But people are they're trying to hold on to the idea of, oh, well, we got these guys. Well, like what why is Marvel not having the same success? Their stories are done.
Yeah.
They're trying to incorporate more stories with newer people for more people to connect to them, because at the end of the day, you get more inspired out of it. Here's the thing: Captain America has always been my favorite superhero of all time. He's always up there. He's in the top 3 because I was connected to his good morals. Now seeing that Captain America became an African American male, Sam Wilson is now Captain America. Anthony Mackie's taking over. That just opened up a whole new generation of young African American kids want to be Captain America now because he looks like them.
Yeah.
Actually, the girl who plays Ms. Marvel, I forget the actress's name, the actual name. But she said that she saw Ms. Marvel comic growing up and said, "Oh, there's a brown superhero. That's my favorite superhero."
Yeah, instantly, man.
Because of that, you're able to have that connection, and it just allows a whole new generation of fans. And I think people are just upset. I can't say they're upset by Phase 4 because it's a whole new influx of characters that people that are more recent, like Captain America as a Falcon. That storyline came out in 2014.
Yeah.
Ms. Marvel, that storyline came out probably in 2012. So it's a whole new generation, a newer generation of Avengers, of Marvel heroes are taking center stage now, and people are just kind of like, whoa, they don't know the backstories yet, so it's just kind of the same thing.
I think it's an exciting time to be a Marvel fan with all this stuff, and I'm sure everyone's excited about 2 Avengers movies coming out relatively in the near future. I guess like 2 years or 3 years isn't really super near, but regardless, people love themselves some Avengers movies.
There's only one thing I'm going to be worried about.
What's that?
It's Samuel L. Jackson's age. Because the brother's in the 70s right now.
Yeah, I mean, he looks good for.
He looks good in the 70s, but the problem is the brother. That's a lot of physical toll right there.
It is. Well, I imagine that they're going to start filming at some point soon.
Well, they have to,
especially because CGI for movies like that take quite an amount of time. And I experienced very briefly what it's like to use After Effects and Cinema 4D or whatever. That stuff is brutal, man. It took me 2 weeks to do a 30-second ad.
I remember that ad too.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. I salute to all my CGI people out there.
Yeah.
I will say, I think you brought up a good point where I think it's because a lot of people grew up with the MCU for the most part, and they love their Iron Man, Captain America, and all the Black Widow, all those people. But I think it's good that their stories are over, and people keep claiming oh, we need to have Iron Man back. It's why? Why do we need 8 movies of the same character? I think it's cool that we're exploring new characters and giving new
breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and giving new these faces aren't just look the same like the other ones, as you mentioned. And I think maybe that goes into why people aren't into this phase, is maybe for them it's it's too diverse for me kind of deal going on. Because they're really when you think about it, you have Shang-Chi, you have Black Panther.
Eternals had the first,
Eternals is literally just
it
a
was
giant rainbow of everybody.
it was it was diverse as all anything.
Mhm.
It had the first I don't know how to promise. It was the first one of the first characters. Well, it was had one of the first scenes of a certain variety in the MCU.
Mhm.
Plus, it introduced a LGBTQ character.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe that could be an issue for a lot of fans is that
Yeah, they think that okay, well,
much like America, I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people they have those internal thoughts, and whether like it's on purpose or not, it's just
see, we had a bunch of John Walkers, not enough Steve
Yeah.
Rogers.
exactly, man. Exactly. And now that was some entertainment updates, everybody. And I really want to get to this story really quickly because it is a sad, sad time to be alive. And comes with a
Yes,
heavy heart to reveal the passing of
of an icon.
a true American icon. The icon blended cultures like no other, brought peace, prosperity to a nation that desperately needed it. Brought us through some heavy times.
Those summers are great.
They really were.
Great summers.
The 38-year-old goes by the name Choco Taco, has officially passed away and has been discontinued by Klondike. Can we have a moment of silence that is FCC approved? So, according to a rep from Klondike, the Choco Taco was entirely discontinued in July due to an unprecedented spike in demand for different Klondike products over the past 2 years. The taco-shaped frozen treat consisted of a light vanilla ice cream encased in a waffle cone, partially covered with milk chocolate and topped with peanuts. It's gone, everyone. It's just gone. Alan Drazen had the idea of the Choco Taco in 1983, and the rest was history, as people were enjoying the incredible flavor, likely sold out of an ice cream truck. And even earlier this year, it was sold at Taco Bell for a brief time. Guys, this is sad, man.
They got the Taco Bell. That's
Yeah,
that's when
that's when he got desperate, man. That's when yeah. But I mean, this was like things like this were part of my childhood, at least. Tacos.
Yo, what? Here, Mr. Salty roll up and down the street.
Yeah. Do we see ice cream men these days? Lana, you see any ice cream people?
Oh yeah.
Where?
I haven't heard a truck in so long.
I think the last time I heard a truck was like 20.
I live by a park, so like.
Okay.
That's fair, yeah.
But I hate to admit this.
I never had a Choco Taco. Well, you know what, Lana? Maybe it's because your generation was inside all the time on your video games, watching SpongeBob. Well, my generation, we were outside. We were walking 30 miles to our school in a blistering winter wonderland.
All right, so radio listeners, the disclaimer. I am actually 2 years older than Lana and 2 years younger than that. 3 years younger than Isaiah, so I'm right in the middle. Yeah. I'm the middle generation.
You are the middle generation. You were
I was a transition.
You were the transition period of this country.
See, I was the passing of the torch. So
hey,
you're welcome and sorry, I guess.
I just never had a Choco Taco.
Really? That's interesting. What is your go-to ice cream then, Lana?
Usually I just like pints of like Ben and Jerry's.
No, from the ice cream truck.
You got money like that?
From the ice cream truck, Lana.
Ice cream truck?
Yeah.
I guess a drumstick. That's a drumstick.
A drumstick
is your go-to?
Come on, man.
I haven't gone to an ice cream truck in a very long time.
Come on.
But that's the go-to?
That's like saying DC is your favorite kind of superhero thing.
Oh wait.
Now it makes sense, Lana. Thank you for that.
You don't want to get a bomb pop?
Ugh.
Not
even like the weird Sonic ice cream that never looks like Sonic.
Yeah, not the Spider-Man ice cream that had the gumballs for his eyes that look like he got beat up or something.
Like one is on his neck and one is like on his forehead. Like Lana, the drumstick.
Those were pretty good.
They are good, but like
not ice cream truck. Like you get that in like in the frozen section of Walmart.
At a ShopRite.
Yeah, get like a 6-pack.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if I go to a Mr.
One of the better Walmart.
We are not presented by Walmart at all, everyone.
We are not.
No ties at all. I hate that place.
Same here. They're crazy.
Yeah.
I don't work.
They pay me though, at least. That's true.
I wish.
Aiden Ping works there now too.
Oh, shout out Aiden.
Aiden Ping's the man. Shout out to him. He's getting the bag. Yeah, I don't know. It's a sad day to be alive for the Choco Taco fans. It was never my first option. It was always like my mom's go-to. But when we did get them, oh man, a good Choco Taco every now and then. You just
Yeah,
hit the spot. Now it's gone.
it's like a every other week kind of thing.
Here on 90.3 WMC Upper Montclair.
Yeah,
I will
so
say my go-to was always the Chipwich.
the chip.
Yeah.
I love the chip. Which
2 cookies, some ice cream in the middle.
the chocolate chocolate chip ice cream right there.
Yeah, like if someone gave me a Chipwich out of the blue, I would propose to them on the spot. Just like that.
I'm telling
Get
so
engaged. Huh?
just so your girlfriend is taking notes. Got it.
Yeah. Hint, hint. Your boy could use the Chipwich. Regardless, guys, that does it for us here on the Morning Buzz. It's been a stellar time. Cam, we're glad you're alive, healthy. Those are the important parts. We'll figure out life at some other point, man.
I forgot the details of life.
Exactly. You got some shows to take care of in the future. From me and Lana, we'll see you next week. I'll see you Thursday at least. Cam, we hope you have a good show for the next 8 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. It's been the Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMSE Upper Montclair. Let's do some ASMR, everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, listeners of 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Yeah.
My name is Aiden Ivers.
Lana.
Why?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me turn up my volume. Lana.
Why?
Hi.
Oh, wait, hold on, let me turn up my volume.
That was a good show. No, I need to get out of Facebook. Sorry, Facebook. Stop live stream.